How's everybody doing? It's wonderful to see you guys. There's a helicopter outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But welcome to Happsstars. This is a variety show that we do every Thursday night at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. We'll be doing a little ASMR today as well. And and I am joined every week with a wonderful co-host, and I just don't know where he is right now. But if he wants to join, I would be so excited. Oh my gosh. There he is. Hello.
What's up, Carrie Long Live?
Dude, look at that.
What's going on? How you
Oh my
doing
God.
tonight?
I'm
It
doing
is.
so
I
wonderful. That's
actually brought.
badass.
I actually brought the Power Glove for my profile picture on Happsstars. It is
Yes.
live right now on Happsstars, and it's so bad. Here
It
we
is so
go.
bad. We will be doing some ASMR the
Yeah,
whole
I'm
night.
gonna be like I'm gonna actually control Happsstars from
Yes.
from the Power Glove tonight. So this is what we're going to be
Please,
doing. So I'm
please do
totally
that.
taking over Troy's job. So he no longer has a job. So all right, let's activate carry intro. Go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carrie Long, known as Carrie Long Live on all social media. It's wonderful to see you guys today. We have you here on Happsstars, which is a variety showcase at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, every Thursday on Happs, the network of now. Thank you so much for joining us. I am not as cool of a robot as Joe, because I only.
Oh my gosh. That is
Hello,
so awesome.
Ella,
Um,
Mark Gage, Tim Conrad. Fancy seeing
what's
you
up,
here.
guys? How's it
Thank you.
going?
Sunset. I don't know how to do a sunset, but thank you for the Hap Sunset Award
That was amazing. That was
and for the Bon
amazing.
Award.
We have a really, really good show tonight.
Hi, Michael.
Did you know that?
I know that. I'm saying hi to everybody. Hi,
Oh, okay.
David.
So am I doing the intro
Hi,
while you're
Lily.
doing like chat cleanup here?
Yeah,
Is that how
please.
it's rolling? All right.
Yes,
Welcome
you
to
always make me feel
Happsstars,
welcome.
episode number 5 for season 3. I am the co-host Joseph Burke along with Carrie Long Live, and you guys are in for one heck of a treat tonight. And I've actually gotten to know this guy for probably the past 3 or 4 months, and
He's
it's
a good
been
guy.
truly a pleasure getting to meet this guy. I don't know if are we going to bring him up right
Thank you.
away
I'm glad
or
you like my vest.
is that? Oh yes, legendary. You're welcome.
I'm
Thank you very
sorry.
much.
I'm in a mood right now, guys. All right, evening, Mob Squad. Yes, I think we should just bring him right on out because
I think
everybody is
so too, man.
dying
Let's
to
just
see
throw
him.
him up. Let's get it going. Ladies and
Robot.
gentlemen, the one and only Sir Tim Conrad.
Hello, Tim.
Hello, Timmy.
Hello, how
Hello.
are you?
Thank you
Hello.
for the Black Apple word,
I
Michael
don't have
Murray. We so appreciate you.
need cool glasses too, huh?
Oh, yeah. You're 10% there. You're 10% there. You gotta, it's all more about this. You gotta kind of like lower your head
Oh.
and get the
Are we all
ominous
doing
chant
this?
music. And then there you go. Welcome to Synthwave. All right. That was pretty awesome. I'll give you
That was
credit.
awesome.
That was good.
Right on.
All right.
That is
I'm
so
gonna take
cool.
these out back so you can see my ring light. You can see all my secrets.
Oh man.
Well,
So
this was a fun opening. That made me really
yeah,
happy.
why not? It's fun times. It's
Good
good times.
times.
Happsstars.
All
Good
right,
times.
everybody. Tim, welcome to Happsstars. This has been a long time coming, and I am so excited to have you tonight. Everybody seems pumped. I'm pretty sure people know who you are already.
They should.
However, if you are brand new to Happs and have just started watching tonight, this is Tim Conrad, all the way over on the right, guys. Who? Tim Conrad, I say.
Tim
Does Tim sing? Oh, yes.
Conrad.
That's what he's on the show to do tonight, all singing.
Yes.
I like to
Yeah.
refer to him as man among men.
Oh, yes. That's
Yes,
a
just hear me
very,
out.
very
Yeah,
accurate
yeah.
title
I'll take
for
that.
him.
Man among men.
No,
God
I want to give
bless.
some people a little bit of your background, and I want to just kind of get the elephant out of the room right away.
Sure.
Tim Conrad, his day job, he is a first responder. And how long have you been doing this, Tim?
Oh, wow. So I've been hired. I've been career firefighter for almost 15 years. So 14 and a
Wow.
half years. But I
Okay.
volunteered a little bit before that for 3 years. So we're up to we're pushing 20.
Wow,
Wow.
man. I just want to say, man, I want to say God bless you. Thank you for all you do. You see stuff that the normal population never get to see. And I have an inclination, but there's no way I could ever walk in your shoes and be prepared for what you drive up on a routine night. And so I just want to say, man, yeah, appreciate it
We
so much.
appreciate you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so
Guys, if you want
much.
to show your love in the chat, make sure to do that as well.
Yeah.
I appreciate it as well. It's a great job. I've wanted to do it since I was a little kid. I'm second generation firefighter. My dad did 33 years here in Montgomery County, Maryland, and now I'm pushing year 15 with Frederick County Frederick County, Maryland.
That's incredible. So you
Nice.
started
Frederick County.
firefighting at the age of 14 then? If you've been doing it for 15? Just kidding. You look so young. I'm like, how does that
He
math
does
add
have
up?
a baby face. He does have that
I've
going on.
been growing the beard out too because I've been off work, so I can't normally
Oh,
have this. And
Oh,
for
I
I
those
kind of
of
see.
like
you
it. Yeah.
for those
Yeah.
of you that want to know, these little spots are actual gray spots. So that's happened in all the time that I can't grow a beard now.
Now it's
Yeah,
turned gray. Oh no.
just in
Oh
spots down
no.
here. Isn't that funny?
Oh no. It's all good though.
No, it's interesting though
Everybody
because
likes some
the
silver
usually
fox going on in
they
there.
say those spots are from moments in your life that are from something very deep.
Oh,
Typically, have you ever heard of that? Have you ever seen a person walk around? They have complete solid like black or brown hair, but they got
Sweeney
one
Todd.
streak of white,
yeah,
Sweeney
yeah.
or
Todd.
they got one patch in the back of their head that's just completely white.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is usually from a typically now I don't you guys in the chat can prove me wrong, but from what I've known and what I heard, that is from someone who's had a very traumatic experience at a very early part of their life, or have
Huh.
went through something very deep.
Well, have I got a story for you?
That's
Well,
why you're on here, bro.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's exactly why you're on here. Let me finish just greeting everybody and then we will hand it
Absolutely.
over because they all want to
Oh,
say hi to you. Thank you, Mark, so much for the Happs Hug Award and Naomi for the Appreciate Award. And hello, Mom. It's great to see you. Great to see you, Molly. I know it's super interesting, Lindsay, isn't it? Yes, a little silver fox beard going on. You see what I'm saying?
I like it.
Sing, 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 sing. Hey, Jay. Pepe Le Pew. What's going on, John?
Pepe.
There we go. There we go. And Kevin, everybody in here. Hi, 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 hi. If I've missed you, we are so, so happy to have you here with us. Hi, Dad. It's almost like you guys timed that. What's up,
Hi.
TJ? Okay, guys.
Well,
So,
I
yeah.
want to say really quick, thanks to Ella for my bunny love. This is brand new since my last show. So I am
I
supporting my bunny
know.
Valentine right here. I love you, Ella. You are an amazing woman and a guest previously here on Happsstars. I know, right? I'm so sorry.
I need to buy one.
I know. Yeah, you
When I
gotta
lost
support
power,
Ella.
I really needed one. You know what I'm saying?
But
this is known as the Badges Bunny, the Lindsay
that
Badger.
looks like
Oh my
badges.
gosh. That's
It's so cute.
adorable.
I love that. Well, Tim,
I'm gonna,
let's dive
yeah, let's
into
get
it, shall we,
going here.
Carrie?
Yes,
Sure.
Ella,
please. Thank you for
let's
all the
start.
awards, guys. I appreciate you. All
Look at
right.
this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ella, we got Dina, we got Trevor.
Trev. Woo, you
Oh,
guys.
so much love. I appreciate that.
Glasses lady. I love
So,
it.
Tim, give us a little bit of your backstory. We're not going to get to the meat and potatoes just yet, but I just kind of want to know a little
Thank you,
bit of your
Ella.
background, where you come from, you grow up. You just give us a little bit. You don't have to give too much details away.
Sure. I'm born and raised here in Frederick, Maryland. Lived here all my life. Pretty standard family growing up. Mom, dad, and then three sisters. Two older, one younger. So, and actually, my two older sisters were 10 years apart. So, they
Oh,
did. My parents did or I guess my mom did the I want another kid after 10 years. And so now we have me and my younger sister. So I had somebody to grow up with, and it's actually been a really cool family dynamic. Um, so
Sounds it.
yeah, just a pretty standard life here in Frederick, Maryland.
So, would you say that Frederick, Maryland, is a small town, a medium-sized town, or a suburban of a larger city?
I'd say it's probably a medium-sized town as far as
Do you
Maryland
have a
goes.
Chipotle and a Starbucks?
We do, we
Okay,
do
so that
All right,
several.
so
explains.
it's
Okay,
medium.
so you're not rural. You're actually more civilized in terms of modern day
We're a little
convenience.
bit of both. I live in an urban area, but Frederick County as a whole can be pretty rural.
I
Um,
got you. Yeah,
when you
Very
compare it
cool.
to somewhere like Baltimore, Maryland, which is just
Mm.
all city.
nice.
My mom's going, yay, Maryland over there, because we lived in Maryland. She lived in Maryland for a long time. I lived in Maryland for a bit in Cockeysville. So we're kind of close to Baltimore. And yes, Cockeysville is a town in
Yes.
Maryland. It is called Cockeysville, and they called me Carrie from Cockeysville. It was really fun. So yeah, so you live more in a rural area than downtown Baltimore. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
um, but
Well,
that's fantastic.
so okay, so you live in Frederick, Maryland, Frederick County, is it right? Frederick County,
Yes.
Maryland. So let's start diving in. I know that you do an actual production here on Haps, but I don't want to get there just yet. I want to understand a little bit about Tim and why it is that you do what you do. Now, it's my understanding, and just through the many conversations you and I have had, and many late night drawing sessions, and just hanging out with Lindsay and
Ooh,
Ella
late night
and
session.
family, that there is seriously a tremendous, powerful story lying behind you and what you've went through and why you are doing what you're doing today. Do you want to maybe walk us through a little bit of that and just kind of maybe lay the foundation for the future conversation?
Sure. Where would you like me to start?
Well, all right. So if I'm not mistaken, there is some mental health issues involved,
mhm.
but those actually spawned from a certain illness, if you will, that you
Sure.
may have overcome in your life. And so I don't want to give too much of that away in me asking the questions. I want our listeners and our audience to be able to just, consume that up from you yourself.
Right.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Yes.
I was born on Tuesday. Okay,
So
good. Good start. Good start.
yeah, it was a drizzly Tuesday. Uh, um, yeah. So I had what I say is a pretty rough year last year, coming to terms with a lot that's been going on in my life. Um, I started out doing just fine. I was hired with the fire department right out of high school, almost like 20 years old.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and this is my career, like I'm already in my career at 20.
Good for
Um,
you.
so I never did the college thing, the partying and all that good stuff. So that was one of my excuses for as to why I was drinking a lot in throughout my 20s. Um, and that will
Because you didn't
segue.
get to in college.
Yeah. But I mean, looking back now in hindsight, that was my excuse. But there was that underlying thing that Joseph was talking about the whole time. And we'll get into that. But yeah, so I'm 20 years old, hired, bought my first house at like 22. I'm setting up for all this success. I've got 3 retirement plans going. Everything is just looking great. I have a fiance. We got married. This is wife one. We got married when I was
Sorry.
26. Yeah, it's okay.
I'm laughing because
Um,
you're laughing at this with the delivery, not at the.
yeah, I tend to do that. But so we got married at 26 and divorced at 28. So things were starting to unravel for me, and that perfect life I was setting up was coming unhinged, if you will, um, all because of my drinking. And I wasn't really aware that my drinking was a problem yet. Uh, I've had, numerous people kind of point it out, underhandedly, maybe here or there, like, hey, you think you're drinking a little too much? And no, and then we'd move on. But yeah, so last year was when it all kind of came to a head. Fast forward into my third. I'm 34 now. Last year, when I was 33, I was working a shift of overtime at the fire station, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning. We start at 6 a.m. here. So I made it 4 hours, and I the whole time had this excruciating pain in my left flank, like right in the middle, and it was kind of radiating into my back. And I didn't know what was going on. I'd never had kidney stones or anything, so all the guys, of course, were saying, "Oh, this sounds like kidney stones." So, long story short, I said, "I can't work like this. I have to go. I have to take sick leave and go to the hospital. This is terrible."
And from what I
So,
heard, that was a really big deal for you to actually do that
oh yeah,
due to your high pain tolerance and everything like that. So that's
yeah. I mean, it kind of runs in that thing like where we've talked about it before. Where we're the ones riding the ambulance and riding the fire engines, and we're showing up on your bad days, and we're supposed to
Mm.
be there for you. Uh, we forget that we are human too, and stuff happens to us. Um, so yeah, it is kind of a knockdown to have to go to the hospital that you deliver patients to all the time while you're on the job yourself. But I went in thinking this is kidney stones because they talked it up as it is, and even the doctor there was like, "Yeah, it sounds like kidney stones. We'll get you in for a scan to make sure." So they scanned my midsection, and the doctor comes back in and says, "Well, it's not good." I said, and now my brain's going every which way. And he's like, "It's pancreatitis with necrosis, chronic pancreatitis with necrosis. You've killed about 10% of your pancreas." And this all isn't computing yet. Like it's just bam. And he's like, "You can't drink anymore ever. Like no questions about how much do you drink, all this stuff. Are you an alcoholic? This, that, and the other. Just you can't drink anymore ever." Okay,
that's terrifying.
all right. So what do we do from here? So
Mm.
there,
Oh
he's
my god.
explaining. He's giving me the rundown. I had to stay in the hospital. They admitted me right away, and there was talks of surgery and everything. Luckily, I got out of there without any of that. But it was an 11-day stay in the hospital, and to treat pancreatitis, you can't ingest anything. So, no food,
Wow.
no water, no ice chips, no nothing. You have to just lay there with your IV drip, and it's all the while in the middle of COVID, so nobody can
Oh
come
my
visit
god.
either. So
Jeez.
I laid there in my own stuff to say um, for 11 days and thought about it, and I was like, all right, I can do this, no big deal. I got out of the hospital. I'm back on duty. 2 weeks go by, no drinking, but then my sick brain starts thinking, maybe you can just have one. Let's see if it hurts if you just have a drink. So I start drinking again, and it didn't hurt. Nothing happened. I was like, all right, I can keep doing this. Well, that led into more binge drinking, um, more alcohol down the gullet, and back into the hospital I went. And at this point, before I went to the hospital this time, I was drunk in my house, standing right over there, and I melted into a puddle on the floor of the living room. And I told my wife, I need help. I can't do this by myself, and I'm going to die. Like I had that coming to Jesus moment where
Mm.
I realized this was way out of my control and I couldn't manage my own life. Like I was going to die. And so I went back to the hospital, another 8-day stay, all the same. And from there, I mean, I called my work and I said, look, this is the deal and I need help and I can't come to work until I get it. And they were so supportive. The union and the upper brass got me where I needed to be, took care of my leave, took care of everything on their end. And I can't thank them enough for everything they did to help me out, because it truly is a brotherhood, the fire department, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's checking on me. So I went down to an inpatient rehab facility called the IAFF, which is our local union. Well, it's a nationwide union for firefighters. Um, but it's actually located for the whole country. Is located right here in Maryland in Upper Marlboro. So lucky, it's nice and close. I wasn't too far away from home, but I was there for 44 days
Oh
working
my
on
God.
me.
Jeez, Tim.
44 days
Hmm.
straight with no visitors?
No visits, still COVID times. Yep. Yeah.
Jeez, man.
So,
I had
I
no
mean,
idea.
there was 40
Oh
or
my God.
so other firefighters that were there. So that's what made this rehab facility so unique. Like the whole time I'm laying in the hospital, I'm thinking, oh, rehab. I'm painting this picture in my head of what rehab is in movies and stuff like that, and it was completely the opposite. Like I was amongst friends. We were all learning about each other and learning about ourselves together, growing and becoming better people. And they have graduation ceremonies for you. Yeah, it was completely different than what I anticipated. So kudos to
That's
everybody
really
down
lovely.
at the Center of Excellence as well.
It's
Um,
lovely to hear
I
that that was your experience. And some comments over here are saying, "Thank God you realized this," and you know,
yeah,
knowing you is a blessing, and it's wonderful to have such a positive environment for you to heal. All of these supportive comments, but that's a really wonderful spin on things. I mean, because man, that was a roller coaster that had like a long drop. That
Yeah.
story, and then, but it's so beautiful how things have turned around for you, and I'm so excited to unravel that over the course of tonight with you and Joe.
I
Yes.
just kind of wanted to backtrack for a second.
Sure.
There was something you said that kind of struck me, and it was a moment when you fell down in the floor in the living room in front of your wife. What was the driving? What was the motivator for that? I mean, obviously you were in a rough spot, but I've heard so many stories of people who have, you know, dealt with alcoholism, and it's a disease. I mean, it's actually a genetic type.
Hmm.
I mean, there's actually a gene for it that you can obtain more of it and actually function normally. But I count you one of the blessed people because you realize the gravity of your situation.
Hmm.
So, I mean, for me, what you did in just a couple of months or a couple of weeks turnaround takes other individuals years, if not decades,
Hmm.
to have
Sure.
that breakthrough moment.
Yeah.
And
So,
that self-awareness
yeah, exactly. So
is
I wanted to backtrack to that a little bit. What was the aha moment, that self-aware moment when you realized? Was there a
Um,
driver behind that?
yeah. I think to answer that question, it really so it did accumulate over years. Um, I attended my first AA meeting when I was 23 years old. Now at
Wow.
that time I was just trying to get people off my back. I had no
right.
desire to quit. I didn't want to stop or it wasn't for me, it was for everybody else. And to do something like this, to work a solid program in AA, you have to be doing it for you. It has to be
Yeah.
you. Any addiction, not just AA. Um, but to answer that question in particular, I think the best way to put it is that I didn't want to die. Um, there was many times when I thought, the depression got to me enough. Like I never wanted to kill myself or anything like that. I never reached that point, but I had what they called more of a passive death wish. If something were to happen, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I'm not going to do
Mm,
it myself, but
It makes
so
people, I'm sorry, but the impulsivity is there, and the just kind of carefree, like, you're not really sitting there worrying about the consequences of actions. If I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but from what I've experienced, if you know
that's absolutely right.
if
Yeah,
if in the back of your mind you're sitting there thinking it's not the end of the world anyway, you know
a
what I
lot of
mean?
times, they'll ask folks that they're doing a depression inventory on, if you will, trying to gauge if they're depressed or not. One of the
mhm,
questions is, have you been doing anything, risk taking, like skydiving, you
mm.
know, because there you go, you're like, I'm not actively killing myself, but if something were to happen, it wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, I
So
understand that.
yeah, they use that as kind of a gauge too for um, depression. Uh, so,
Interesting. Okay.
but going back to your question, it was just like it was a moment where I realized don't want I don't want to die yet. I'm not ready to go, and that's what kind of melted me down. And when you're in a drunk, if you will, uh, I know a lot of people that live an alcoholic life will agree. Uh, you almost always look yourself in the mirror when you're in your drunk, and you have that you're such a piece of you know what
You
moment.
can. You're
Poop.
allowed to
Yeah.
curse on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's
You
no.
can.
Yeah.
You're a
There's no.
piece. You can say that you're a piece of shit. I'm not saying you're a
Yeah.
piece of shit. You can
There's
say it.
no.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say it.
I told Ella I wouldn't be the first one. No,
No, you be
but
real,
yeah,
man. You can be real on here. It's all
Yeah,
right.
you look
100%.
anybody that lives that alcoholic lifestyle at some point in one of their drunks they're looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, "What you're such a piece of shit," and I mean, and you can't really do anything about it, but you can. Um,
Mm.
so that was it. Like I knew I wasn't ready to leave this world yet, and I haven't finished everything I've been put here to do, and so I needed to take some action, and that's when that was the catalyst, the moment I said, I need help. I can't do this myself.
Well, God bless you, man, for being
Seriously,
self-aware and having enough
having that
inertia
strength.
in your soul and spirit to drive you in that direction. That's unreal. And like I said previously, it takes what you did in just, I know you've suffered and dealt with this for months and years, but just in this past year, that realization and that moment of that epiphany, uh, that you want to be here. You want to be here for your family. And I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of thankful that you're here right now and we get to have this awesome conversation because
I'm
I know
extremely
there's a
thankful as well.
lot of people that's going to be benefiting from what we're talking about here tonight. So
And I really
definitely.
hope so. That's the whole reason I come on Haps really is the is trying to pass that word along and help as many people as I can. And for those that were asking or wondering, my the date of my last drink was last year, June 16th, 2020. I've gotten
Wow.
my 1 year chip from AA,
Congratulations on that, man. That's huge.
and we're still
That's
pushing.
amazing.
We're up past 15 months now sober. So
Wow,
Good for
man.
you,
That is
man.
such an accomplishment. And I'm sure that your family are just, your biggest cheerleaders in this moment because they're starting to see their dad and their husband in a whole new light. That's
Yep.
so rewarding.
My
yes,
mom is saying that she's glad you chose to live.
Oh,
To quote Stephen Hawking's, "Where there's life, there's hope."
yes,
Um,
very much.
that needs to be presented on screen.
okay, that's my mom. um,
Hi, mom.
wow. Okay, Tim, I'm not crying. You're crying. Can you guys? What's going on? What are you doing here? My allergies are just. Oh goodness. All right.
It's all
So,
right. It's okay.
no,
Um,
it is. It is. It's
it's
all good
good.
and it's all
It's
okay.
good.
But yeah, I mean,
Allergic
the fact
reaction.
that you had
It's
that
okay.
moment, the fact that you had that moment of realizing that passive, what was the term that you used?
Passive death wish.
There you
Passive
go.
death wish. Yeah.
So not, yeah, not an active one. You're not out there driving your car into other people, but you're okay with the fact that if something happens, that's the way it is. And the fact
Hmm.
that you got to that point where you decided and realized and recognized that you did not want to just even passively let anything like that happen, and you wanted to now actively turn things around and make sure that you are going to be here and ensure that you'll be here for your family and to see them grow, and just be here to share your story with everyone, because right now so many people are connecting with you in the chat, let alone the
Hmm.
people who maybe are not talking because they're just listening and are not at a point where they feel comfortable to talk yet. So the fact that you're doing this, and we talked about this in the meeting, the fact that you're normalizing talking about this is a
Yeah.
really, really respected and beautiful thing here, because you are bringing up a topic um that most people wouldn't be able to get up and make themselves vulnerable enough to be able to talk about, and we really genuinely
I'm
appreciate it.
so glad, Carrie, you brought that up. There's this big fear about being 100% transparent.
Yeah.
Because when we open up and we peel back and we shine light on those areas of our life that is dark, there's always this innate feeling inside of us, what are others going to think? What are my friends going to think? What is my family going to think
Hmm.
when this is revealed? Everybody in my community, am I ready for that? And I think fear is the biggest thing that prevents us from truly finding our joy and our stride in life. And I'm so proud of you for the fact that not only have you conquered that fear, but now you're using that as your story. That is your story. That is your testimony, bro.
Hmm.
And and I know you're going to stay on the track. You're going to stay through this to the end. I know I've known you long enough that you're not a guy that gives up easy. And so just hearing that is just gives me a lot of joy in my heart. And my next question for you is, how did you find the Happs family? Like, how did you know about Happs in the first
Yes,
place?
yes. I wanted this one. Oh,
Um,
speaking of which, we are so
There it
blessed to
is.
have you in the Habs family.
oh,
Beautiful question, Joseph.
Hey,
yes,
I'm just following the flow. This
It's
is what
like
I do.
you're
go
I'm
you've
with the
done
following the
this
flow.
flow.
before. Have you like interviewed some people? Because it seems like you may have. I don't know, but
This it's not my night. It's Tim's night.
come on, Tim, give us the good stuff.
Well,
Talk to
so
us.
I kind of stumbled into Haps from Periscope. Like I never live streamed on Periscope. I just used it as like TikTok. I just scroll through, watch people doing stuff, and it was just like a time killer, really. And I enjoyed Periscope. It's I met some great people there. And when Periscope shut down, uh, Haps was the one that fell into my lap. I think because of Jim in Chicagoland. He said he was going over to Haps, and I've watched a lot of his streams, like the trivia and stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I started watching and stuff on Haps. I was not a live streamer by any chance or any stretch of the
By any
imagination,
means.
right? But I don't
But
know.
look
I
at
mean,
you now.
as I worked my program in AA, this kind of just happened, and I'm glad it did because it really Haps is like a whole separate support network for me, and for a lot of people, but for me in particular, it's I can come on and talk and hit the go live button, and people
Mm.
come in and start opening up with me.
Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure I can still see you, buddy. All right. So we
um,
had a paragraph of
it's a Troy's lost it.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
I'm sorry, I lost track. I'm a squirrel. No, you were just talking about how you could get on here. Get out of my face.
so
And thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And I wanted to just speak to that really quickly about how we had talked about Haps becoming almost a form of therapy. Um, to be able to hop on and talk to people who are going to understand and to do that in a safe space. So I definitely want to hear what you have to say about that and maybe how that led to the creation of your baby on
yes.
Haps, your baby, your show baby.
Oh, the mental health hour. Yes. It
Oh yes.
We
so
have a
that
video too, by the way.
Oh,
yes, we do. We have a
oh,
Do
promo
you
shall
want
we?
and
us do you
Shall we
want us to roll
intro
the
into it
video and
and
then we
then
can?
sure, yeah, that's
talk
Okay,
about
fine.
it?
let's do it. All right. So we're going to pause for a second. This is the mental health hour, which is every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, right here on Haps.
Don't be
And
confused. This still is Hapstars. Don't be confused.
on Happsstars. Well, it's not on Happstars, it's on Haps.
No,
Ooh.
It's
just
okay.
go. Just go.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Here's the video. Check it out.
Sharing experience, strength, and hope is what gets us all through. Be happy, talk about these things, normalize it more.
Well, I am a bad person. I shouldn't have picked that because, like, and they do, they'll make you think that you were selfish for picking that.
when I got on the phone, she had told me that he had OD'd from fentanyl that night, and she had found him in the morning on his bed with his lips blue.
Very traumatic experience, especially when I'd had to wait like 8 months in like excruciating pain every day. And when you're in that kind of pain, it's very hard to keep positive and keep going. The days when you wake up and you're just like, I can't do this anymore. And then when you have the pandemic on top of it, like it's just a hard time. So
to your question, Tim, as far as the mental health part of things, I was a wreck. I think I'm still a wreck to an extent. I still think I am suffering from that post-traumatic end of things. I became more short-tempered because there were things like in this case for my daughter I had no control over. Prior to that, I was the father figure. I had the control. I was the breadwinner. I was the one that had to say, all of a sudden, all of those things were pretty much taken out of my hand. It was frustrating.
Because I knew exactly what I was doing there. In that place, in that space, I don't have to deal with any of the cobwebs, the BS that's kind of like compartmentalized.
You don't have to deal with life outside.
Yeah.
Man, what a great video bumper, dude.
Seriously.
Very well put together, dude.
Tell
Very
people,
well put together.
Yes, just give them more information on this, please, please, please.
Yeah,
now
sure.
That we have this beautiful intro.
So I started this.
Thank you, Brian.
I started this with I didn't really know what I was doing. Like I knew that I wanted to hit go live. It was finally time to do something. Like my program that I've been working in AA, I've reached the 12th step. The 12th step is all about sharing experience, strength, and hope, so that others can be successful as well. And this is one of my 12th step things that I do. So one day I just hit the go live button and I started telling my story, and I called it Mental Health Hour Pilot. And it caught a lot of attention. And Lucia from the Happs team showed up and was really supportive of it, and said, you need to keep going with this. And absolutely. And I was like, sure, I've got a wealth of information on this stuff now. From everything I learned at rehab, I'd love to keep talking about it. So here we are. We're going into episode 20 next week, 20 weeks later. And you can see we've had a lot of great guests on already, and we've got more to come.
They were some amazing guests. That was incredible.
I noticed a lot of people on there that I know, so that's really nice.
Yeah. And hello,
Very
PETA.
cool. Hey, PETA. PETA. It's so good to see. And that's another thing about this platform too that I truly admire. It's something when you have the admin team supporting its own community and supporting shows like the Mental Health Hour, Happsstars, the Creative Multiverse, Badger Makes. I mean, it is such a blessing. You are a blessing, Peter and Pablo, and Mark as well. I really appreciate you guys. So Tim, the Mental Health Hour has kind of become the pinnacle of who you are. Not only is your story relevant with your guests, but you're also providing a safe space and a platform for your guests to kind of do exactly what you did just here is be transparent.
Yeah.
And dude, I got to commend you for that. That is such a big thing to have guests on that are willing to go all in, not just give you a quarter of their story, but the full story as it's meant to be unfolded. And there's a saying sometimes when we're talking about it, especially in the ministry world, is that your story is not done. And when you think about it, especially everything that you've went through and I've went through, even Carrie, our story's not done. It's a constant unraveling of just everything in our lives, and it's unfolding every day. Things are changing and evolving. And so, but what has been one of the greatest lessons that you have learned yourself from being the host of the Mental Health Hour?
I am so glad you asked that question, because that
Isn't Joe good? Isn't he good?
that just
I
happened. That
Go ahead, Tim.
did you just watch yesterday?
No, I have not watched anything. I see. I just go with the flow, man. This is what I do. So go ahead.
Yeah. So yesterday's episode was a viewer requested. We do also take requests. I'll drop the bio link in there.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
please
please
do.
do.
But
I'll start.
we had a request for gaslighting.
Oh,
So
Gaslighting in relationships.
gaslighting in relationships. I actually didn't I didn't know exactly where to go with this one. So as always, I sit down and I do all kinds of research. Like, I mean, I sit
Oh wow.
down and I get ready for the show.
Wow.
I
And
like
Let's
it.
all get ready for the show, but okay.
and so as I was reading about gaslighting, I came to this realization, and I talked about it on the show yesterday. I'm like, wow, this was me. I was gaslighting everybody, and I didn't even realize it until
Interesting.
yeah, I was
twist.
gaslighting people, to keep them away from thinking I had a problem,
Mhm.
and that way I could continue to do what I wanted to do. I get the benefit of the outcome. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, yesterday's episode was very eye opening for me, and that happens when you're talking mental health. If you're not learning something new every day, and keep pushing forward with these types of conversations, then we can tend to fall backwards in our own mental health. And so, I mean, the mental health hour in itself has been great, not only as like 12th step work, like I was saying, but for myself at the same time. Like it's therapy for me.
You're
Um,
offering therapy to everybody.
But
yeah,
at the
and
same
anybody.
time, I believe I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this thought at the same time as people are unloading their stories on you, you yourself as the interviewer are growing from hearing their story, and together you're kind of growing stronger together because we're not designed to be living life alone on an island by ourselves. That's not the intent.
Right.
And I just love that
Human
because
connection,
you
man.
have the platform, you have the show, and you have some amazing guests. And you are growing as an individual and an advocate yourself because of everything that you've went through.
And that's all I can hope for. And I'm so
Well,
appreciative.
you're doing it.
Yeah, for it to continue, and I'm so appreciative for everybody that shows up for the show every week. And I gotta give a huge shout out to Gemma as well. She
Oh, yeah.
came
Gemma!
on. She came on with me
Shout
back in episode 5. That
Sorry.
was a good shout out.
Oh,
Gemma.
what's wrong with me tonight?
Gemma,
Gemma!
the co-hostess with the mostest.
Yes,
Thank you.
she does so much for the show, though.
Oh,
So much. Um,
What's happening right now?
I just said thank you when you were saying the co-host is Smith and Mo. You're talking about Gemma. I just said thank you. So I'm just
This
gonna
is
step back.
Carrie. This is your show and all, but
I'm
we
just
were talking to Tim over here. So no, I love you, Carrie. You know that. Thank you. Oh, jeez. Get
all
back
right.
up
I'm
here,
back.
girl. Get back
I'm
up
back.
here.
Here we go.
So how did no? So before Carrie's getting ready to prepare a song, Carrie, go ahead, get yourself ready.
Mhm.
But how did Gemma become a part of the Mental Health Hour?
Gemma came in to episode 1 that I was talking about with. She was another just avid supporter of what was happening.
Okay.
Out of the blue on Happs, here's this guy talking about alcoholism and his story and stuff. And then not long after, Lucia did one of her shows, Be Kind to Your Mind, and featured me on it. And we had a good stream together. And Gemma was there as well. And that's when we really connected, was there. And we started talking about mental health and stuff. And I'm like, you want to come on the show? And I'll interview you. I haven't had a guest on. And she's like, absolutely, I'd love to, but only in a British accent. And so then she came on, and the very next episode after hers, I mean, her episode got a lot of traction, and the very next episode after her, or after, yeah, episode 5, I said, "Will you come back on and kind of co-host this thing with me, because it's a lot easier to do this with two people bouncing ideas off each other." And
What
she
an
was like,
organic, like,
100%.
relationship to have built. That's amazing.
Yeah, so she's been around ever since, and I thank her so much for all she put together that video. She does so much for the show that is just it goes unnoticed, and I want to spread the love as Carrie does, and say thank you to Gemma for everything.
I feel the same way about Carrie, and I feel the same way about Badges. I think it's when you find that great co-host. I mean, it's a dynamic duo, man,
It's a
and
blessing.
it's a great thing. It is exactly, it is a blessing, and I've been with Badges since 2016, if you can believe that.
And you two, I've got to say, I mean, the chemistry there is just there's nothing like it. You guys
Yeah.
are just
It's pretty kinetic and
white on
magnetic.
rice. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
So that's awesome. And so what we're going to do now, we're at the 45-minute marker, a little bit after. We're going
And I
to
got my little
kind of take a breather for a minute. Carrie's got her music ready. Tim, if you need to step down for a minute and do a union break, you're more than welcome to.
Awesome, yeah.
And but Carrie,
greased lightning.
Carrie, you have got the reins, my dear.
Synthomatic. I love all these comments. All right, yeah, but come on, stay in and pip with me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm gonna pip with you. I got you. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna mute myself though, so in case I fart, you don't hear it.
Traumatic. Thank you for getting that. Of course. Oh wow, this could be greased lightning. Okay, so I am going to sing a song called "I Need You" because I think it's appropriate right now. Go grease lightning down on the corner. Oh, that's not grease. Sorry, no, that's not I Need You. That's Grease Lightning. Intergalactic. And Mom, I saw your comment about music and mental health going together, and boy, do I think that that's true. All right, guys. So this is an original song. This is called I Need You. I was reading. I'm sorry. I can't read and talk at the same time. Thank you for the Peace Award. Thank you, Veda. Our beautiful, beautiful co-host of season 2. I think they're oh my godding at you, Joe. I want you to know before I go that I need